And good news. So they've done pretty much everything. I think they still maybe need to remove some stumps, possibly, but it feels like, uh, yeah. So it feels almost bare, and the land just feels just way bigger than it was before. But yeah, definitely this feeling of like nakedness, just because with one of the big trees gone and the others completely trimmed, it just feels way more sunny and bright. And the downside is that it opens up the neighbor's area, so I see some of their crud everywhere. But that's okay for now because I needed to have everything brought back to the way that it is now so that I can start putting up the things that I actually want along the side of the property. Yeah, because with those trees there, I couldn't actually put in anything that I wanted to. So now I can start thinking more about the like bamboo or sugar cane or something else that is a lot easier and provides better screening on that side of the land. But for now, I'll just flip the camera around and I'll show you what it looks like from down towards the creek part of the property. And I don't know, I imagine it'll look a lot different than before. It certainly feels a lot different in a good way. And I have about, I don't know how much mulch that is, but it's a lot of mulch that I'll be able to use once I start planting things and doing a lot more. All right, I'll flip it around. We'll give you a bit more of a tour. Yeah, so here's the creek. So this part didn't have anything done except for this is the, I think that one there, that's the tree that I brought down myself. And so they've taken the stump way down. I think they're still going to like pulverize or whatever the word is to get rid of that stump. But worst comes to worst, I'm not too concerned about it, as I can just like fill it in with some mulch over the top and make it into something else. This is the mulch mounds here. Yeah, super happy about that. And then that's the tree that used to be there. So this whole area just feels like way more open, which is exactly the intent of taking that tree down, because I think I said in the earlier video, this is the area here that I would like to put the house. And probably the solar field again, whether that's on top of the house depending on the design or just down pretty much where I'm standing. It needs a fair bit of light and consistent, like all day kind of light. Whereas if that tree had remained, it just would have been essentially morning sun up until about noon, and then it would have just disappeared. So it just feels a lot better with that tree being taken down, and then it matches up. There's two other trees that I think fell down in the last cyclone or something. And so it just, I don't know, it just makes a little bit more sense. Back here, it kind of feels like it's divided up the property more between like all day sun versus like half day kind of sun and shade. So yeah, this is all looking great. And then up here, this again feels like a massive difference because all those trees are totally trimmed back, and right in here and here, yeah, those are the places that had the little pockets of trees that they've now taken out as well. And there's just still maybe a couple stumps in there that I'm kind of hoping they come back and grind out or whatever they do with them. But in the meantime, this area just feels, it used to be, yeah, I just still remember it as being quite a bit more mosquito ridden and like shady, but it's still, I mean, as you can tell, it still has shade. I'm not too sure what time it is, but I feel like it's probably just past midday here. So already I'm getting the shade that I was hoping to get, and probably the birds are happy that with all of that up there as well. So it still retains a lot of the shade without that overhang. And for that, I am incredibly excited. So I just need to do some clearing of this area here of the small like grasses and stuff, and maybe pull a few things out. But otherwise, oh yeah, there's the other pocket there. There's like 1, 2, 3 pockets of the trees that used to be there but are no longer, and that was just like jungly, crappy, gross area. So yeah, it just opens up so much more, and it's so nice to know as well that I can put either a shed or a shipping container or something to house things in the meantime, pretty much anywhere now, because these branches are very unlikely to fall down. Like, I'm not anticipating a whole lot of dead tree bits landing all down here, which they were before. Like, pretty much every day that I came onto it, there would always be a lot of dead branches and stuff that had fallen since the day before. And it's just nice to know that won't be the case anymore. I mean, I guess there's probably going to be a few every once in a while, but most of it will not be landing on this property. And yeah, I need to water the pawpaw tree. It's looking a little bit worse for wear, but it really is. We're about a week into around 40-degree temperatures, and the forecast is calling for a whole nother week of around 40-degree temperatures with pretty much no rain in sight. So I probably need to take more responsibility over the well-being of that pawpaw tree, because clearly it is needing some support. But yeah, the guava tree seems to be doing all right. And the grass actually, the grass has taken a bit of a beating because of all the big tree parts that have come down on top of it, but it's getting super dry, and it's actually, I've never seen the grass like this. I'm told that this is how it, even more so, it spends like 8 months of the year when it's not the rainy season, and it's just all like brown, doesn't need mowing, no problems. So the fact that a lot of it is brown right now just goes to show that we are still in the middle of the rainy season, and yet it is so hot and so sunny over the past ages that the grass is still barely able to stay alive. So yeah, so that's the tour, and feeling pretty good about everything, and just excited about the possibilities of like the next part of this whole process. I talk with the council a lot. I'm talking with engineers and architects at the moment, so there is still a lot of stuff going on in the background. But at the very basics, it's just nice to know that I can start actually planting things on here. And again, I don't want to talk about this pawpaw tree too much, but obviously if I plant things, I need to take good care of them. And so I need to factor that into everything. But it's nice to at least know that the things that I've planted at the house that I'm living in currently, I can put here. And as long as I look after them every day, they should be totally all right. And I shouldn't need to move them, and don't need to think about trees falling down on top of them or anything else like that. Yeah, so just in general, very, very excited and happy with these new changes. And the talks with the council today went quite well. They answered all of my questions, and most of them were quite positive in terms of like the things that I wanted to be able to do. I found out are generally quite possible to do without any real further issues. And some things that I had written off as like, oh, that's going to be impossible to do, they actually said, no, that's fully possible. You can do that. You just need a permit, and we're happy to approve a permit. You just got to pay like $100 or whatever and show that you're not going to completely destroy the land with some of the things that I'm thinking about doing. So again, I think everything is moving forward in a very wonderful direction. It just takes a bit of time, a bit of patience, lots of research, and and just seeing the progress every week. So that's it for the tour today, and I imagine the next one that I do for video updates would be once I planted some more things. That could be quite exciting. I think that's maybe the next thing that I could possibly maybe work on while I'm waiting for for more plans and stuff to get approved and drawn up and whatnot. The birds are saying that they are very much enjoying their newly trimmed home.